Welcome back everybody to the channel. In this one we are going to be focusing on Sunday's games and starting, as you can see here, with Chelsea against Crystal Palace, the Club World Cup champions, kicking off their season against the FA Cup winners and of course the Community Shield winners. These are the rest of the games for Sunday, and before we take a look at them I have to say thank you to everybody that liked the previous video. This is the reason that you're watching this video right now. We passed the target of 1,000 likes and the same applies for this video. 1,000 likes is the target. If you reach it, if it gets hit, I will make another video the next day. That's how it works. It's a contract. So these are the games we've got today in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest start their campaign at home against Brentford. Two teams coming into the season not in the best shape. Brentford losing a few players and of course their manager and the coaching staff there. One of the coaching staff is the new manager. The set piece coach is the new manager, Keith Andrews. So look out for them on corners and free kicks and throw-ins and stuff like that. Nottingham Forest not scored many goals but not conceded many goals in pre-season. I think they will brush off the pre-season blues and actually get a win in this game. I think they'll win this game 1 or 2-0. Crystal Palace away at Chelsea. That's the game we're going to focus on in a moment. And then, of course, the big one, Manchester United against Arsenal. I want to get all of your predictions in the comments. What do you think is going to happen in these games? If you've got any selections that you're on or selections that you like the look of, get them in the comments for me and for the rest of the community. So a quick word on Chelsea. I have been impressed with them for the last 12 months now. They don't give up many chances, as we will see in a moment when we check out the data. They've got real quality. They've got a great squad, and at the top end of the pitch, they've added real quality again. Estavio, if you've not seen him play yet, he is a real talent, of course. I like players like Pedro, Neto, Cole Palmer, speaks for himself. And now they've added more quality with Gittins, with Pedro, Jackson potentially leaving. Massive upgrades. Liam Delap coming in, still very young and hungry to not just sit on the bench. So for this first section, we are going to take a look at the player props tool. Link in the description if you want to check this out for any game. We're going to type Chelsea. And then we can see Chelsea against Crystal Palace. You can also check out the West Ham game as well. Very bad result for West Ham yesterday, wasn't it? 3-0 away at Sunderland. The previous video, we had them to score. We were a goal short in that Brighton game. And of course, the Liverpool selection won in the previous video, 3.1, as did OddAlerts AI's prediction at 3.79. It said over 9 corners. It was about 14, 15 corners, I think. So as we load the player props tool here, we see that it by default shows you the top goal scorers, goals on average across the last 20 games. And interestingly, Eze is top 0.53 per game. So maybe to score or assist is a decent line for him. Just a moment actually on Eze and Gahey. I think they deserve massive credit because this summer they have been wanted pretty much all summer, and their agents will have been telling them that, listen, there's solid interest from Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool. I imagine for both of those players. Gahey certainly for Liverpool. Eze looks like he's about to go to Tottenham, so this could be his last game. But I think they just deserve massive credit. You don't really hear people giving them credit, but they do deserve it, because you see on the other side of the coin, someone like Isak just says, yeah, I'm not going to train, I'm not going to play. Whereas Eze continues to play and play exceptionally well. Same with Gahey as well. Massive performance in the Community Shield, the FA Cup final. And I'm sure today as well, Eze will play to the level that the Palace fans have come to know and expect and love. So we're looking at goals, and what you can do with this tool is go to last 10 games. And then you can also see that Eze is still top of the pile. Let's take a look at tackles, shall we? And this is perfect for those of you that love to do those player prop bets. And I'm actually going to put on a shot on target selection for this game. And it is a player that's in my fantasy football team, so potentially biased. But I will explain the reasoning when we jump to Bet365. For now, let's take a look at fouls, and it is Cucurella, another player in my fantasy football team. So Munoz and Cucurella, both up there for tackles and fouls. And of course, Caicedo for fouls. It is going to happen. Pedro as the pressing forward. Levi Colwill is injured for a long time, so that could impact Chelsea. The new lad, Neto from Ajax, is expected to start today. He looks a very, very good player. Let's take a look at total shots, last 10 games. Cole Palmer, Ismail Assar, Eze up there, and there is Estavio as well. Honestly, I hope we see him. I think we will see him for about 20 minutes today. He is a very, very exciting player. So direct, so tricky, so quick. He is going to take the Premier League by storm if he can settle in and if he's got that physicality straight off the bat. Time will tell. For the next section then, we jump to the football form guide. I'm going to show you quickly some of these sections because it just shows the kind of form that Chelsea have been in. Yes, it's been pre-season, if you want to call the Club World Cup pre-season or post-season, I'm not so sure, but Chelsea have won 9 of the last 10 competitive fixtures. Crystal Palace have won 4. In terms of goals scored across this period, only Manchester City have scored more than Chelsea, and that, of course, includes the 4 that they scored last night. Thank you, Erling Haaland, my fantasy football captain. I tried to tell people that at 18%, he was 18% owned. That makes him a value bet. Haaland at 18% ownership was mental before the season. That will only increase because he's going to get a lot of chances this season. The way City played last night was pretty special if you're a City fan, pretty alarming if you're a Liverpool fan, Arsenal fan, and a Chelsea fan. Now, when we take a look at XG per 90, it is quite interesting. So despite being second for goals, they're nowhere to be seen in the top 5 for XG per 90, Chelsea. We keep scrolling. We see Burnley before we see Chelsea, of course, 9 of those 10 games in the Championship. We see Crystal Palace before we see Chelsea. And you can see Chelsea's metric there, 1.34. They are 12th for XG per 90, yet they are second for goals scored. So they are scoring some goals that maybe they shouldn't be, or they're scoring very, very difficult chances. Let's put it at that. Next up, XG against, and this is where Chelsea are excelling, and I think they will continue to excel. Their keeper, by the way, was very dodgy last season, but if you watch the Club World Cup, he made some very big saves, Robert Sanchez, and I expect him to continue. They were looking around for a keeper before the Club World Cup, but he proved his worth in the competition. He really did. Crystal Palace, 1.34 XG against per game, and we can see here Chelsea are 16th, which I should reverse this table because this should be near the top, really. 0.86 per game, only bettered by Everton, West Ham, United, and Leeds. There's a couple of teams I wouldn't have expected in this chart, but there you go. West Ham and Manchester United, expected goals per game, 0.77 and 0.73. Well, West Ham yesterday, I mean, that was a terrible, terrible way to start the season, wasn't it? Graham Potter under pressure immediately, 3-0 away at Sunderland. Now we check out fouls won across the last 10 games to see that only Bournemouth have won more fouls than Chelsea, and I think this metric will only improve. They will continue to stay near the top of these charts this season because they have only improved the attack. Answer me this as well in the comments. Will Cole Palmer have a better season or a worse season than last? I know he didn't score many goals, but he was still pretty influential in Chelsea's play. Will he get more space now that they've got these other players on the pitch? Or will the ball go through those other players as a priority? Are they going to get it out to Gittins first? Or they're going to try and get it up to João Pedro first or Liam Delap and then play from there? Because last season, everything went through Cole Palmer. And for fouls committed, they are also near the top. I wonder how many of the 129 are from Moises Caicedo. And finally, from the form guide, yellow cards for opponents. This is an interesting one for this specific fixture because these two teams are second and third. 30 cards for the opponents of Chelsea in the last 10 games. And just behind them, Crystal Palace with 29. The bookmakers are fancying Chelsea for this one, as we can see, 1.66. The first thing I want to show you here and just explain is that I think there could be value this season in, not just on Bet365, but this, sub on, play on. If you're not familiar with this, it means that, let's say we put on João Pedro, 1.8 to score or assist. If he gets substituted at 70 minutes, 60, 70 minutes, whoever comes on for him replaces him at the same odds for that bet. Now, for some teams and some players, it doesn't really matter. They play 90 minutes. You sort of don't care. But for Chelsea, and the way they are stacked, and especially with those wide players, we're looking at Neto, Estavio, João Pedro, Delap, to score or assist, there's a great chance that a lot of these players do play 60, 70 minutes this season. So actually my first selection is going to be for somebody that I do believe is going to start because he was one of their better players last year. It's Pedro Neto. I do think he'll start from the right. 1.72. And if you just look at the other players here, you've got Gittins, who will be desperate to get on the pitch. He could start on the left today, to be fair, Gittins. Estavio, I do believe, will come on. And if he comes on for the last 20 minutes, if he replaces Neto at Stamford Bridge, I watched the friendly game where he started and played about 70 minutes, and he was shooting from everywhere. He was just so direct. And if he comes on for Neto in this game, which I think is quite likely, then that is a great option, and that is why I think it's something to look out for this season. The sub-on, play-on, it's called something else. Your bookmaker probably will have it. They've all adapted it now. Sub-on, play-on. So Pedro Neto to have a shot on target is my first selection. Let me know, of course, as I build this up, what you think about this in the comments. Now, to get this to evens, I'm going to go for over 1 goal. I was tempted by BTTS. I think this game could quite easily end 2-3-1 to Chelsea. My thoughts are that Chelsea will win this game, but Crystal Palace on the break, and a couple of new players coming into that Chelsea backline, especially the left-sided centre-back coming in. If he does start, he should start. He's probably the best player that they can put into that position, but it does mean he will be potentially getting used to his surroundings. So over 1 goal is the less risky version of sort of BTTS. And then I'm going to go to players to commit a foul, and we're going to take a look at some of the options here, but the one I am liking is the one we had in the Community Shield, which was also a winning selection on this very YouTube channel. Adam Wharton to commit a foul. Again, his numbers are not necessarily chart topping in terms of the fouls that he does commit, but when he's up against elite teams, I think in those kind of busy midfields, I think he's very, very capable of committing a foul. And with Palmer dropping into midfield, João Pedro dropping into midfield, just as Wirtz did in that Liverpool game in the Charity Shield, I think it's going to be a similar situation, and I think he will commit a foul. Another player that I would be looking at is Cucurella, who is actually slightly better odds, so you can go for Cucurella if you want to. Caicedo, just don't even do it. It's not worth it. Reece James, another one, but you just don't know if he's going to start this game. Reece James would be a good option for a foul up against Eze and Sarr, of course. So we add Wharton to the mix. Let me know in the comments who you feel is a best option for a foul in this game. Is it Wharton, or is it one of those fullbacks for Chelsea or for Crystal Palace? And my final selection in this game, where is it, is both teams to receive a card, and that takes it to 3.4, and this is what we are working with. Yes, we want to remain logged in. Pedro Neto to have a shot, and of course we take advantage of the super sub. It also comes into effect with the Adam Wharton foul, but I doubt he will be brought off. Over 1 goal in the game. My initial prediction on the previous video was 2-0 to Chelsea. Let's see what happens in this game. And both teams to receive a card. Right, a bit of a word on the Manchester United game next. So Manchester United host Arsenal in the big game on Sunday, and if you want to see my predictions and the predictions of the rest of the community, you can do so on Discord. Link is in the description for that, as it is for all of the tools that we have used here today on OddAlerts. And stay tuned for another video that's coming pretty soon, which will show you all about the new tool that launched this weekend, the in-play funnel. If you want to learn more about that, I will also put a link in the description. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you want more videos, and I will see you in the next one.